Welcome to United Short Track Racing Association. I believe this is going to be round number 2 for us here this week. Evan Pasoko in the booth with me, John Westling. Hey, we call him Magic Fingers. He's pushing the buttons for us down in the trailer. This is the Triple Crown Series here tonight. And I tell you what, Evan, Bristol Motor Speedway, this is one of my most favorite tracks on the circuit. So really looking forward to a good time here tonight.
Yeah, hell, before I climbed up here to the broadcast booth, I was watching a special on Bristol down there on Speed TV. So, I mean, we got a doubleheader tonight for the USTRA, double clutch putting this together, the short track. I mean, it's doubleheader tonight. We're starting off with the sprint cars. We got Silver Crowns later, Bristol short track racing. Doesn't get any better than that.
Well, I'll tell you what, after the mayhem at Martinsville last week, I'm kind of looking forward to this one here. And this is the sprint car tonight, so something a little bit different than we did last week. Of course, this is doubleheader night tonight following the sprint car race here at Bristol. Hey, they're going to bring them little Silver Crown hot rods out, and we'll have a good race then as well. So that follows at about 9:45 tonight after this round, and it looks like we're getting ready to get them on the grid and get this thing going a little. And I'm thinking, I think I saw there was 10. I think there's 11 drivers here with us tonight. Let's take them down through. I'll do the top 5, Evan. Fred Lampella, he'll be driving that number 2 machine. He's on the pole tonight. Outside him, Vinny Sansone, driving the number 1 machine. And who does not know Vinny Sansone? Look out for this cowboy here at Bristol tonight. Jeffrey Mays, he's on the inside in that number 4 car. He'll be starting 3rd. Outside him in the number 9, that's Michael Lampella. And in 5th position, Coon Landry, Evan.
Starting in 6th, the outside of row 3, it's the 7 of David Cumbo Jr. Starting 7th, the 11, Brett Waldrop. Then you got the 3, Ryan Steele. There's another familiar name starting in the 8th position. Lilo Wilson starting row 5 on the inside in the 9th place. Then we have Dayton Gank, did not take a time, starting 10th and 5th. And then at the back of the field, Dale Shaw starting 11th, and also Fred Lampella, that guy on the pole. He is also the current points leader.
Leela Wilson, I believe we saw her at the last week at Martinsville. She had a pretty pink-looking car, and looking forward to a good night for Leela here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tonight is 50 laps here tonight, so this is going to be kind of a quick one. I don't believe any of these guys will make a trip down pit road. Usually they don't. They should have enough fuel in the track to make it all the way around this thing. But I'll tell you, these little hot rods can get up and go as we get set to go racing here tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is going to be a crazy race. I was looking at practice. They're slipping and sliding. The pole time is only 13.6 seconds. It's going to be a quick, fast-paced race, but that's just Bristol for you. It's going to be a great night.
Hey, anything at Bristol, I'm game. And I'll tell you what, this is the Triple Crown. It's being sponsored by Double Clutch, Eddie Walczak, and crew. The sprint car points top 3 stand like this. Fred Lampella, Michael Lampella, and Leela Wilson, your top 3 in the sprint car series of the Triple Crown here at Bristol tonight. So we'll go through some more points here a little bit later on in the race. Pace car is going to lead them around this last time here and then pull down on pit road. And we'll get this thing started here.
I mean, that's why you see every single seat in the stands pretty much full. Doubleheader, short track racing live on ATV Live. Doesn't get any better than that. Now the pace car is going to go down to pit road, and Fred Lampella is off, and we're green at Bristol.
As soon as that pace car crossed the apron line, Fred Lampella was off and running, cowboy. And I'll tell you what, Vinny Sansone running in 2nd with Michael Lampella a close 3rd. And I'll tell you what, 50 laps in these little cars, this will be over lickety-split. But I'll tell you what, Fred Lampella has all but checked out on the rest of the field back here as we put 2 laps in the books.
Definitely got a little bit of a gap over Vinny Sansone because obviously he dictates the restart there. About 12 or so car lengths back to Sansone right now in 2nd position. And then Jeffrey Mays just a little bit off of Sansone. Michael Lampella sitting in 3rd right now. Sansone 5/10 back, and the caution flag is going to fly early. We have an incident on the racetrack. 1 car in the wall. Lilo Wilson's in the wall also. Dayton Gank may be involved.
Ryan Steele goes around for an e-ticket ride here. He may have had some help.
It looks like he, yeah. I don't know. Let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, I've got it queued up here. I need to put it on pause here. It was...
I don't know. It looks like he may have just lost it. I'm looking. There was a car behind him, and it looks like he just lost it coming at it, too. and came up in the wall and may have collected another car, but I didn't see any contact on the rear end of that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That was Leela Wilson in behind him. I don't know whether she had. It's hard for me to tell. I just can't get the right camera angle here. Unknown if she helped him around or not. But Wilson trying to keep control of her car, tags the wall a little bit, gets out of shape, but manages to hang on. So first incident of the night here tonight, Cowboy, and. That's Ryan Steele. So Ryan will have to bring that machine down pit road, I'm sure, to get a little bit of repairs done on a number 3 machine.
Yeah, I took a look at the onboard. It looks like he may have just got loose, and the rear end kicked around, and he just lost it down on pit road. The crew's taking a look for any damage, obviously, but the exposed wheels, you can easily get suspension damage. It's also interesting to note, I mean, Ryan Steele is the Silver Crown points leader. You also mentioned Vinny Sansone. Vinny Sansone is second in the Silver Crown points, so we might have some drivers doing some double duty tonight here at Bristol.
You bet, and I'll tell you, since this is the Triple Crown, the Tour Mod points stand out like this. We'll run down to the top 10 here. Nathan Saxon, he sits at the top with 378. Michael Morrison is in second position. In third is Joshua Hand at 269. David Chimura, and then there's Gary Holbrook rounding out your top 5. In 6th is Gerald John. Ray Farlow, he's in 7th position. Samuel Dick is in 8th, and 9th is Jordan Dow. Rounding out your top 10 will be Joe Marks. That's in the Tour Mod series. So remember, this is a Triple Crown, and to be able to pick up the trophy, you got to win one of the 3 series. If you want a shot at the trifecta and take home that $1,750 paycheck, you got to win all 3.
Yeah, definitely, and you mentioned last week's race in Martinsville. What a crazy one. We talked about it on the radio show there. Just, that's what you're going to see at a short track, and when we're at Bristol, who knows what we'll see tonight, especially in these sprint cars. Definitely a really fun car to drive. I don't have it on iRacing service. The green flag, however, now back out. Single file restart, Lampella to the lead, Sansone sitting in second, and watch the battle for third because Michael Lampella right on the bumper, Sansone for second.
Lampella's either got a heavy foot or he knows how to run these tracks in these sprint cars here tonight. But I'll tell you, Lampella is looks like pretty much an expert at getting the jump on the green flag. But this time, Vinny Sansone, I think he probably knew what was going on up there. He's not trailing that far behind this time around, about 0.2 of a second. But Michael Lampella is in third position here, quite a distance back, about 0.9 back from Fred Lampella up there. So I don't know whether he's just kind of killing time back here or what's going on.
Yeah, he lost 0.2 that last lap. Not sure if he got loose and killed his momentum. Now he's a second back, so he's obviously losing time. Taking a look, Fred Lampella again up front. Vinny Sansone about 0.2 back. This time they were pretty much even. It looks like Sansone may be trying to run a little bit of a higher line, I've noticed, in 1 and 2, trying to get some of the extra speed as they go down the backstretch, but it looks like he may be closing in just a little bit.
And let's go back here to 10th position, number 3 machine. That's Ryan Steele. Remember, he was involved in that caution a while ago. A little bit of damage to his machine, bringing up the tail end back here. A little bit of smoke coming off the tires. I think that's probably just getting into turns, just a little bit too heavy on the throttle. But looks like these cars are a little bit difficult to keep control of up here, Ryan. Or Ryan. Evan.
No, I was taking a look at the onboard in practice too. They gotta ease up because that rear end wants to step out, and I think that's what brought out our first caution. Just they're so loose, it's real hard to get that horsepower to go to the ground without it spinning out, and that's why Sansone still. I mean, he's great in these sprint cars, and Fred Lampella is doing exactly what he needs to do up front because Sansone's not really gained any ground or lost any with the right end. I mean, hey, we're already on lap 16. The laps are flying by, so he's got to get moving if he wants to battle for that lead up front.
You bet. And Dayton Gank off the track here. He's being shown 11 laps down.
They just pulled it to the garage.
I think he just pulled it to the garage. He comes down pit road and takes it behind the wall.
Not too sure what is happening, but that 5 team, Dunn currently being shown 12 laps down, so something must have happened. Maybe he got involved somehow in that earlier caution because he's 13 laps off right now as the leaders on lap 18, so something must have happened earlier on in the race to cause issues. But it just says that he has just retired his car. So.
All right, Dame Gang behind the wall calling it a night here, headed for the barn. In the meantime, coming around to 20 laps in the books here, 30 to go here, 50 laps on the board. And Fred Lampilla still holding down the front row up here, but keep an eye on that number 1 machine. That's Vinny Sansone. This cowboy's been known to walk away with a bunch of trophies here at any given track in these sprint cars. So keep your eye on that number 1 machine. Michael Lampilla. It's got to be a brother. I'm sure it's some kind of relation to Fred Lampilla up there in front. But Michael Lampilla running in third in that number 9 machine. It looks like he's getting into turns pretty good, but I don't know whether he's getting back on the throttle early enough to get back off again. Losing quite a bit of time to the leaders up there. Now 1.9 seconds back from Fred Lampilla in the number 2 machine.
Yeah, hey, that could even be a father-son thing. I've seen a bunch of that going on in the hosted races where the father and son hop in and race with each other. If it's a brother, whatever in the family, that's obviously a cool deal. Sansone, though, struggling to gain ground on Fred Lampilla. I'm taking a look at the times. Sansone was 2/10 back just a couple laps ago. He's dropped to 0.53 seconds back, so half second off. And he is really going way up to the wall. You see Lampilla right in the middle. Sansone's really going way up, searching for something to give him a run if he wants to have any shot at this lead as we hit the halfway point.
Yeah, you'd think that progressive banking here would help these sprint cars out quite a bit, but I tell you what, these cowboys are hot putting it around Bristol Motor Speedway here tonight. 50 laps on board. This is the United Short Track Racing Association Triple Crown Series, and this is a double-header night for us. As soon as this race terminates, we'll be wandering over to take a look at the Silver Crown. Just had an incident off track here. I need to roll it back here a little bit. Somebody was down on the apron there in front of
They nearly took out Sansone, and Sansone was making his way around that lap traffic, and the lap traffic got loose and took a little bit of a wiggle, and Sansone was rather close to that off turn number 4.
That's going to be Dale Shaw back here in 9th position on lap 25. Car gets away from him a little bit down on the apron, crosses that apron line, and I'll tell you what, that is absolutely no man's land. Manages to hang on to it, but has to jump off the throttle. Unfortunately, that's going to send him 2 laps down here. As he makes his way onto pit road.
And definitely trying to figure out what's going on with that car.
Yeah, Dale Shaw had to make a pit stop, and I'm sure probably a tire change for that machine, but to back out on the track, only 2 laps down. But in the meantime, Fred Lampilla putting on a clinic here at Bristol Motor Speedway in these little sprint cars. I'll tell you what, these guys, the wheelbase on these things are about 8 inches, I think. And, I mean, it's like sitting on a motor with a steering wheel attached to it, and that's about it, cowboy. So, as these guys pick him up and put him down here at Bristol Motor Speedway, we're on the short side of the stick. 32 laps in the books here already. So, Kuhn Landry back here, 5th position. Getting a good entrance, good exit here. Not wiggling around as much as I've seen some of these other guys, but looks like Kuhn Landry is sitting about 5.7 seconds back from the lead, so he's significantly off the pace, along with Jeffrey Mays in front of him in that number 4 machine.
Hey, definitely the sprint car is such a unique race car. You see the cage maybe shifted a little bit to the left. You see the right wheels stick out further from the cage than the left do, and no wings, so these things are really quick, almost a smaller version of those tour mods that we saw last week. But I mean, with those exposed wheels, it's real easy to have an issue. If you tap that wall, that can really mess with your suspension. You don't have any sheet metal protecting your wheels, and you mentioned some drivers that are making some good times. Well, one person that's not really, that's Vinny Sansone, struggling still. Now nearly 1.2 seconds off of the leader. Fred Lampilla still searching for any grip that he can find. So Lampilla's running away with this with nearly 13 laps to go.
And I'm back here watching Fred Lampilla, and I'll tell you what, this cowboy, I mean, it's just, put it on cruise control. Let's get this thing done. 38 laps in the books now here at Bristol Motor Speedway for the United Short Track Racing Association Triple Crown Series here tonight. And of course, being sponsored by Double Clutch, Eddie Walczyk and his group. And I'll tell you what, also Jeffrey Mays back here in 4th position. All these guys, they look like they're getting, Mays, of course, he just took a kind of a middle ground there coming through the turn. It looks like they're spending most of the race kind of looking for that one groove that's going to, get them up and moving. But Jeffrey Mays still sitting back here in 4th. He's about 5.3 seconds off the lead.
And I'm seeing that blue smoke because they're getting sideways. If you're taking a look at our leader right now, Fred Lampella. In front of him is, I do believe, Ryan Steele, 1 lap down. Maybe have an issue with that car because I'm taking a look, and it is probably at a 15-degree angle sideways in the corner, kicking up smoke in the face of Lampella. So Lampella wants to be careful as he gets his way around this lap traffic here.
You bet, with 8 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I tell you what, I told you this thing's going to go lickety-split. 50 laps on the board here tonight, so it's going to be a quick one. Fred Lampella, a little bit of blue smoke coming off the tires. That may be coming out of the exhaust, too. Or no, that isn't Fred Lampella. That's actually Ryan Steele up in front of him.
Lap car.
Yeah, looks like Ryan Steele having some difficulty with the tires. It might be brake smoke coming off that number 9 machine.
And he was the person that spun out earlier too, so they may have just got him back out there, but the thing may not be fully fixed. But we're gonna come around next time by. 5 laps to go.
You bet, and lots of smoke coming off of Ryan Steele's number 3 machine. He's got to hold it together here as he comes across the start-finish line with 5 laps to go here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Fred Lampella out in front with a huge lead, 1.4 seconds over Vinny Sansone. And I tell you, Vinny Sansone doing everything. He still looks like he's searching for that one groove that's going to get him there. But unfortunately, as the laps start winding down here, 4 to go here at Bristol, just not enough time left.
Oh, wreck on the racetrack right in front of Sansone. 1 car up and over. An incident. Kuhn Landry in the wall. That's the 6. 6 got messed up earlier. It looks like the 7, David Cumbo Jr., commenting on the incident. Taking a look here on the replay. Turn 3, the 6 car got into the wall and was punted by the 3. 3 got into the wall, and I think the 3 of Ryan Steele, who had those issues, went up and over after getting hit by another car. So that was a big pile up in turn 3.
Yeah, Steele goes sliding off down the track. Now, that's not his fault. I'm sure he's hard on the brakes. Just can't keep the car in one place. But unfortunately, I believe, Evan, this may terminate the race. I don't know if there's enough laps left here to finish this thing. It was 45 laps when the flag came out. And by the time the pace car comes back around, picks up the yellow flag, I don't think there's going to be enough. This may have terminated the race.
Yeah, Lampella's going to take the win, obviously well-deserved, as he was just pulling away from Sansone in second. Sansone did a good job of not getting caught up in that incident, so he should be able to relatively hang on to that second spot. But yeah, the pace car lights are still on, and they would have had to been off to get the one to go, as we are taking the white flag this time by. So if Fred Lampella can get it around one more time under caution, that's number 2 is going to go to the Bristol victory lane.
You bet. And what a night here at Bristol Motor Speedway with the United Short Track Racing Association Triple Crown Series. And I'll tell you what, they put on a pretty good show here tonight. Of course, the number 3 machine having some difficulty early. That's Ryan Steele. And tough night for him, as well as Dale Shaw having a difficult evening as well. Dayton Gank got into, I still wasn't able to go back and look at the replay on that, but Gank having difficulties here tonight, went out very early in the race. But right now, Fred Lampella, he's going to be picking up the trophy and the points here tonight, so that's going to look good on his resume for the Triple Crown for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He started on the pole, came in here as the points leader with a 15-point gap over Michael Lampella. Michael Lampella, second in points, finished this race third, so Fred Lampella is obviously going to get the advantage of this as he is taking the checkered flag and is going to do a little bit of a celebration. He's going to hang on to that points lead, looking for that Triple Crown when we get down to it here, as we're halfway through about.
You bet. And, going over the Sprint Car Cup, or Sprint Car points, Fred Lampella, he is the leader in the points, so another positive night for that machine. Michael Lampella is in second, so it's going to be a good points night for him as well, finishing third here for sure. Vinny Sansone, however, is not in the top 10 in the Sprint Cup, the Sprint car points. So Vinny Sansone, I don't know how many sprint races he's made this series yet, but Vinny Sansone certainly not in the top 10 here. But Fred Lampella, Michael Lampella, Leela Wilson was sitting in third when she came into the race here tonight. Leela Wilson manages to finish the race in eighth position here tonight. So and one lap down. So.
Yeah, Fred Lampella did exactly what he needed to do because he beat everybody else around him in the points. Got the his pole time was a lap of a 13.673. So obviously that's actually faster by 1/10 than any lap that he got during the race. So he obviously found that groove in qualifying and really had no challenge for the lead once he took off there on that second restart. Sansone just didn't have the car to catch him, and Lampella cruising to a relatively easy victory.
You bet. And I don't see anybody coming up. I don't think we can get anybody on the radio. I think they've pretty much switched the communications off here, so it's unknown whether we're going to be able to get Fred Lampella on the radio to ask him about his race. But Fred Lampella, Vinny Sansone, Michael Lampella, Jeffrey Mays, and David Cumbo Jr., your top 5 here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Next up, the Silver Crown, and I'll tell you what, Cowboy, that's like riding an 8-second bull. You know, if you haven't seen those Silver Crown cars, that's a ton of horsepower sitting right between your legs, direct drive, just like these little sprint cars. About 750 horsepower, I'm being told. And I tell you, I mean, those are, you talk about a white-knuckle ride, that ought to be something to see here at Bristol Motor Speedway. So that's coming up next here, live on ETV Live with the Triple Crown United Short Track Racing Association Series.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen those Silver Crowns tuned up and running at Talladega on here before with Gen 6 cars. So those things are no joke. They're in no way a kiddie car when you look at the size. Those things can move it, and when you're going to go around Bristol, that's going to be a sight to see. For the second time, I do believe that we're going to check them out. I think we started off the USTRA Triple Crown Series. You broadcasted that race at Dover to start it off. So they're going to return tonight at Bristol for the doubleheader. We have 2 drivers possibly doing double duty. Ryan Steele, Vinny Sansone going to go switch over, and we'll get ready for that race.
You bet. We're going to try to get Ryan Steele on the radio here. He was driving that number 3 machine here tonight. Ryan Steele, this is JD, the Cowboy, up here in the booth with Evan Pasoko. You got a copy?
I believe I do.
Hey, Ryan Steele, looked like you're having a pretty decent night out there, and then something happened to you early. What happened?
Yeah, I had just been talking to a couple other drivers on the forum before the race that have a discussion about practice time. And I hadn't done very much practice time. And I talked about that, and I thought, I should probably get some practice time in before running the race tonight. And I did it in the test session. And I forgot it wasn't a night race, so I ran under night conditions, and the car was too loose when I got ready for the race.
So that makes a big difference even here at Bristol Motor Speedway. I know you know, the car's set up quite a bit differently at places like Talladega, Daytona not Talladega, but certainly Daytona for a night race. Bristol Motor Speedway, do you have to make that many changes to the car for a night race versus a regular day race here?
Frankly, I know nothing about setups, so I basically run whatever Vinny puts out there.
You're just paid to drive the car, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Vinny puts out setups on the public forum so everyone can get those, and they are good. I just wasn't mentally prepared for it to be a day race, so I needed to be easier on the throttle, and I just didn't get the message.
All right, Ryan Steele driving that number 3 machine tonight, and tell you what, finishes 5 laps down, but a little bit of trouble early in the race. Who makes it happen for you, Ryan?
Oh, well, I got support from the guys at Blue Hell Productions. I'm part of the staff there. We make some free FPS games based off a couple of Command & Conquer games. And got some other personal friends of mine that run some logos on the car. A author named Tanya Richter's got a book she's making. And Crafty Hands, which is an organization run by my girlfriend. I know sim racing is a great place to advertise those, but I run those anyway because I like to.
All right, Ryan Steele in the number 3 machine tonight. Looking forward to see you on the track here just shortly with the Silver Crown Series.
Righto, I'll see you in a few minutes.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and step away, take a commercial break. When we come back, the Silver Crown at Bristol Motor Speedway. We'll be right back.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we are back live here at Bristol Motor Speedway, taking a little quick break there. And I'll tell you what, Evan, 50 laps here at Bristol in the sprint cars. We've got the Silver Crowns coming up here shortly at 9:45 p.m., so stay tuned. You can listen to the ETV Live radio, classic rock and roll, to keep yourself occupied in between here. But, Evan, tonight's race, the sprint car series, looked like a little bit difficult for some, not so bad for others.
And that's just the nature of Bristol with its high banks, a short track, and these sprint cars with all that horsepower trying to get it down to the ground. We saw him slipping and sliding. I mean, when it came down to it, the right man won it. He got his car was set up right, and he ended up taking it to victory lane. And some drivers, like we said, doing some double duty, so they got to go get some water, grit up, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes to bring you part two of the doubleheader.
You bet. Stay tuned right here live on ETV Live, 9:45, the Silver Crown. So we'll see you shortly.